Hello guys, so this is Sri. Today we are going to see about liquibase. So I had recently had the opportunity to work with liquibase and I found it very useful tool for uh, databases like MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres, and many more databases. Okay, so in this video, we are going to see about how to install and configure the Liquibase and how we can deploy the schema changes using Liquibase. And moreover, like we will see how to compare the schemas between two servers and how to identify the differences, how to make it sync. So these all uh, things we are going to see in this video. Okay, this is completely tutorial point of view, the demo thing. Okay, so let's start with what is Liquibase. Okay, so even I would say I do not know much about it. Very recently I started working with Liquibase. But yeah, introduction is it is very good for the change management for your databases. Like you can keep the versioning and you can roll back on some point. Okay, and it will keep track your change log on the schema changes. This is similarly like a Git for your database environment, I would say, in DevOps manner. Okay, and as I mentioned, it is really helpful to identify the differences as well, schema differences as well, and you can make it sync. Okay. As I mentioned in this video, we are going to first we will see how to install and configure the Liquibase, and then some basic commands about Liquibase, then how to deploy using the property file, and how to execute the changes in your MySQL environment. I'm 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 going to use MySQL 8. Okay. And then finally, we will see how to identify the differences between two schemas. Okay. Before beginning the tutorial part, I would like to show my setup. RBCTL list. So yeah, I switched to RB stack. For my Mac, it supports the Intel CPU architecture. So I prefer now using RB stack. Okay. So here, these are the two servers we are going to use it. Liquid1 and Liquid2. These are the two servers we are going to use for this one. Okay. And yeah, let me log in orb-m liq1. Okay. And let me log in the other node as well. Why it is? Let me try to keep it something below. Okay. Fine. Um, orb-m liq2. This is the second server. Now, yeah, this is fresh new server just I created for the tutorial purpose. So I need to install everything. So this is the Ubuntu machine. As always, we use my L button have some problem in my laptop. Okay, so this is the Ubuntu machine. First of all, let me get update the machine. Then I need to install MySQL server as well. Yeah, anyway, it was quick that we have MySQL in Ubuntu repo, install MySQL server. Okay, so it is going to be installed. Fine. Let it install. So the next part is, yeah, after install the MySQL, we will create this user uh, so that it will communicate between the servers. So I just used the open host. But yeah, as usual, it is not recommended. You need to use the right host to make it proper. Okay. And this first server, Liquid1, we are going to install the Liquibase. Then we are going to connect the Liquid2 remotely. Okay, to compare the schema differences. Uh, yeah, so let it complete. Hmm, okay, my SQL is running. Come on, come on, come on. Fine. So MySQL is set up now. You can see the version is 8.0.43. Okay, 8.0.43 on both of these machines. Now let me quickly update the config so that I can connect remotely, right? So there is a bind address thing is there. To by default it will come with the local host, right? So I'm just changing the maybe just hiding the bind address. Okay. And both of the things I just commented, and I am just service MySQL restart on both the side, both the MySQL server. Okay. Yeah. So now let me create these users quickly so that I can anyway. Yeah, so I just created this user and we are going to use this liquibase user uh, for this entire practice. Okay, fine. Now, so yeah, we did the so far we installed the MySQL service and we created the user to communicate between the server. Okay, the username is liquibase. Fine. So this part is done. Now the next step is I need to install the OJD key, which means the Open Java Development Kit. Because the Liquibase is built with the Java code, so this software is needed to install the. This is the dependent software to install the Liquibase. Okay, so first let me trigger this command. As I mentioned, I am going to use the first server. I mean this LIQ1. This server I am going to install the Liquibase. Then I will connect the LIQ2 remotely. Okay, fine. So let it install. It may take some time. Uh, Maybe due to my network or my VM size. Okay, so it looks quick, but yeah, before that when I was testing, it was very slow. Good thing is it is quick. Fine. So once this, yeah, currently this is getting installed. So once this is done, what we are going to do, we are going to configure the repository to install the Liquibase. The next part is Liquibase installation part. This part. So here we need to configure the add the GPG key first. Then we will going to configure the repository here, and then I'm going to do the apt update to update the repository, and finally I'm going to install the Liquibase. And yeah, we will once it is done to make sure the installation is proper. We are just going to run the Liquibase version command. Okay. Okay. First of all, okay. So this is about to complete. Let's wait. So as I mentioned in the LIQ1, the first server only we are going to install the Liquibase. Okay. Fine. This is done. And now I'm just going to add this key. Yeah, this is done. Then I'm going to add the repo. Yeah, maybe if needed, yeah, maybe I will add this command in the YouTube description. You can find it over there. I would say this is really, really helpful on comparing the schema. I got impressed, so I just wanted to make one video about it in my channel. So yeah, maybe it will be helpful for you as well. Okay. So yeah, what I did, I just added the key, then added the repo, then I did the apt update. Then now I am going to install the Liquibase. Okay. So it is getting installed. Okay, this also okay, it will be quick. Fine. So let's do the next thing. So once this Liquibase is installed, we need Liquibase will connect the MySQL using the connector. Okay, we cannot connect directly with the client kind of thing. So we need to connect the MySQL with the connector. Okay, JDBC connector. Yeah, it is quite simple. I will show you how to do that. Okay. First of all, yeah, currently this phase is running. Once it is done, we will verify the liquibase version. Okay, fine. Now, to configure the JDBC connector, first of all, I need to download it, right? I need to download the connector first. So you can use this link. You can visit the MySQL official site to connect the JDBC connector. For me, okay, so this is done. Let's verify this. Liquibase hyphen hyphen version. Okay, so if you see, it is running. And yeah, you can see this is now installed, and this is the 4.33 is the version. You can also make sure dpkg-l grep-i. Yeah, so you can see this is installed properly. Fine. As I mentioned, the next step is I need to, okay, so for what we did, just install the Java software development kit on the server. Then I just install the liquibase. That's it. Okay. The next step is I need to configure the liquibase to connect my MySQL. Okay, so that it can connect and do the deployments and comparing the schema so that it can perform those activities, right? So for that, first of all, I need to download the JDBC connector. So I'm using this link, and you can see my browser. With that link, I can see this software. So here, this is the exact connector. I'm just clicking copy link address, and I am going to here. Once the liquibase is installed, there is one folder opt liquibase. Okay. Then inside it, there is a lib folder, library folder. You need to go into there. So just verify this location /opt/liquibase /lib. Then here I am just downloading the connector. Okay. Okay, wget is not there. Let me install wget. I'm not sure why wget is not coming by default. Ubuntu. Fine. So this is done. Now again here pwd inside /opt/lib liquibase/lib. Okay, now wget doing this jar command. So it is getting downloaded. And now if you see, you can see this JDBC connector is now exist inside this folder. The folder is, the location is /opt/liquibase/lib. That's it. Okay. Now, fine. Now we have the connector and we install the liquibase. Connector should be in this location. Okay. You need to make sure on that. /opt/liquibase/lib. So we installed all the things, right? Like we installed connector and liquibase and Java deployment kit. All this installation is now done. Now let me create one project. For example, let's create three blocks. I am creating inside OPT liquibase. Okay, inside the OPT liquibase, and I'm going to inside the three blocks. I am currently in this folder, and there is nothing in this folder. Okay, fine. Then now, first of all, I need to validate my connection. My liquibase is able to connect the MySQL or not. That is the first thing, right? So for that, I need to tell the liquibase where to connect all these things in the connection string. Okay. For example, let me take this, and here I'm going to create one file, liquibase properties. Okay, liquibase properties, and there I'm just adding this string. That's it. Okay, JDBC connector and MySQL database localhost. I'm just going to try in my localhost only. And the port and which database I'm trying to connect. Here I mentioned my database name is Shakti, and whether it is the connection through the SSL or not, public retrieval is true. And this is the username, password. This user and password is already created, right? Now, I'm just saving this file. There is a command liquibase validate. By default, it will take the dot properties file, which is located in that folder, and it will validate the connection. Okay, let me try this. Maybe I should fail. Yeah. So what it is telling, invalid argument, change log file is missing, required argument. If you need to configure the Liquibase project file and then run the Liquibase to init the project. Okay, this is fine. So it is checking the changelog file, but I did not miss to add it. So now let me add the changelog file option here. Okay. Let me clear ls vi Liquibase properties, and I'm just adding this option. Okay, and this file needs to be created. If I am doing that, I'm just saving this cat this and touch this. Okay, now let me run this command again, liquibase validate. Okay, so it will validate the config and it will report it is okay or not. Okay, now it is running. Now what it is telling, liquibase SQL syntax exception, unknown database, Shakti. Connection could not be created, JDBC local, because in my connection string, I mentioned this. Let me show that file again. So in my connection string, I added this, right? So this is actually the database name, but I did not created this database yet, right? So when it is trying to establish the connection, it is checking this database is exist or not. It is not there. So it is failing. Now let me do currently show schemas, nothing, right? And create database Shakti. I just created show schemas. Now you can see this database is now exist. Fine. Now let me run it again and see what happened. Liquibase validate. Let it run. So it is running, but still there is some error. You can see what is the error is telling. Changelog parser exception, unable to pass empty file. So it cannot able to pass the empty file because this file is currently empty, right? We just touch this file. There is nothing, right? Empty file, unable to pass empty file. Changelog hyphen primary hyphen SQL. Okay. Now I created the database. Now I need to define what are the uh, changes I'm going to deploy using this. Okay. For example, let's say I already have this content. So here, let me copy this. I will explain. Okay. VI SQL. So this should be, this is supported, I mean, Liquibase is supported JSON, XML, YAML, text, and SQL file as well. Okay. So you can prefer, you can choose which one is suited for your environment. You can choose that. Okay. For me, I mean, to show simply the how it is working, I'm choosing the SQL uh, SQL exception directly. Okay. And here, Liquibase use the formatted SQL thing. So you need to have this change set and which user. This is not exactly database. This is username. Let's say maybe in your team you may multiple members are handling the schema changes, and you can, let's say, Shakti, if I am making the change, I will put my name here. Or if someone else from your team is making some change, then they can put their name here and the number also, which I mean the change number also. Okay. Let's say here, let me do, yeah, I will show that next. So currently I have this formatted SQL and there I have two change set. One is create table and the next one is create index. Okay. You can do multiple SQL statements within the one change set also. For example, let me remove this. I'm just going to keep it one. Okay. you can do this also. Okay, how many SQLs schema changes you want to deploy, you can have it within one change set. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to create the Sri table and I'm going to add one index on the same table name Sri with this file. Okay, let me show you how to do that. Yeah, now I have the changelog primary SQL file as well. So we have two files. One is the liquibase property and the next one is primary SQL. There we have the statement. And this change primary SQL is mentioned here, changelog file inside the properties, right? Now again, liquibase validate. Let it run. Yeah, so you can see now no validation errors are found. Let me do. Yeah, no validation errors are found. Liquibase command validate was executed successfully because now we have the proper connection string and we have created the database and we have the created the changelog SQL and we also added the SQLs inside that file. Now my validation is completed, right? And there is one more command, liquibase status. Okay. So this will tell you what are the change sets are currently applied and how many is pending. For example, if you see this, one change set has not been applied to Liquibase localhost on this host on the Shakti database. So which is not updated? This is the one not updated, Shakti, and the ID is 1, which means this one, Shakti, and the ID is 1. This is not executed yet. It is telling, right? So one change set has not been applied to this host yet because we are just validating the connection. We did not deploy this yet to the server. So before deploying this, let me use Shakti show tables. There is currently, yeah, there are two tables, database change log and database change log lock. Okay, let me explain this post we apply the change log once we deployed. Okay, currently these are the two tables available. Now I am going to deploy the change. To deploy the change, I need to do update, liquibase update. Okay, let me run this command. So this is running now and you can see uh, running change set from this file, and this is the change set Sakti 1. It is running and run 1 is completed. Total change set is 1 because currently in this file we have only one change set, right? 1. Now let me check in the DB. You can see now the table is created, right? Show create table tree. You can see the table is created as well as the index is also added, right? Now let me show this database change log table. Select star from. So these two tables are created by the Liquibase by default. Okay. So this is used to track the changes. For example, Aadhar Shakti and the ID is 1. File name, this file was executed. And when it was executed, at this time, it was August 12, 1 o'clock, 26 minutes, 32 seconds. This time it was executed. And which order executed? We just executed the first one, right? Shakti 1. That is what we executed. So that is here. And this is the checksum execute type, which is executed or not, that it is executed, and the Liquibase version. So this table is used to track the changes. Okay, when which file executed, when was executed, all these things will be tracked in this table. I will show you with one more execution, then you will get the difference. Okay, and there is one more table. This is the table. So this table is used to currently it is the logged is 0, right? So why this table? The main purpose of this table is, let's say in your team there are few members. They are parallelly doing some changes on the table using the Liquibase. In that case, it should not be allowed. At the time, only one person can do the changes using the Liquibase. Okay, for the better to avoid any conflicts. So what it will do, when someone started to changes, this locked column will be updated to 1, so that whenever the other person is trying to do some changes, it will not be allowed, because there is already someone deploying something, so someone doing some changes in your database schema environment. Okay, so it will not be allowed. This log will turn to 1. Okay, so that is the main purpose of this table, to track the someone is using already or not. That we can track using this table. Fine. Now we have this. We know these two tables, and we created this table. Now let me do one more thing. Within this same schema, I'm going to modify the change primary SQL file with with I'm going to add some other change set. For example, this is two from the other user, maybe Sri, and I'm going to create the some table. Okay, maybe um, temp1. Okay, and let's do create one more table. So let's make some other name, maybe Sri vlogs, and I'm changing this to 3. Yeah, any ID you can have it. Just to the I mean the increment wise, I'm choosing that. I'm creating temp2 table here. Okay. Now let me run this SQL file again. So you may have question, because these two are already executed, right? These two are already executed. Now I just want to execute this two, right? Sri 2 and Sri blocks 3. These are the two statements I need to execute it. Shakti 1 is already executed, right? Now let me do validate to show how the liquibase handling this. Liquibase status. Okay. Liquibase status. So you can see it is telling Liquibase open source by Liquibase. Two changes have not been applied to this host. Okay, which is Sri 2 and Sri blocks 3. It is not defining Shakti 1, right? Because that is already executed. But how it is getting the details, which change is already executed? How the Liquibase identifying that is with this table. As I showed before, using this table, it will check this table, this Shakti, and the order is already tracked here, and this is already executed. This is already executed, right? So when I am deploying the change with the same file, it will check that particular table, and it will get the previous status from there, and it will not apply the same thing again. Okay, this is the way Liquibase maintaining the thing. So whenever I'm modifying the files with the new sequels, then it will start from uh, where it left before, right? Now let me execute this. And there is one more option. You can use this if you want to see verbose output. Okay, log level, fine. Let's do that. Yeah, so it will print multiple lines. Okay. If you want to understand and you want some debug related thing, then you can use that log level, fine. Okay. So yeah, it should be completed now. Let's scroll down. So yeah. So yeah, so here you can see these two tables are executing statement, right? Executing statement, these two statements. And customs equals are executed, change it, and this file is updated. This is successfully completed. And finally, this is the summary. Like currently, there are two chains that was run, Sri 2 and Sri blocks 3, right? Previously, only one chain set, which is Sakti 1. Total chain sets are 3. Total chain set 3 is completed, right? You can verify here as well. So totally we have 3 chain set. This one is previously completed. Now this is completed and this is completed, right? Now let's check it within the DB. Show tables. Now you can see these two tables also got created, right? And let me check this table. Select star from this one. You can see now we have three rows. Previously it was one row. And let me do some more granular thing. Other ID, date executed, and exec type from this particular table. Now you can see Shakti 1 that was executed this time, and it is executed for this this other means your team members who are making the change, they can do this. So you can easily track your changes as well. Using by deploying the changes through the Liquibase, you can easily track who executed what, which time, whether it is successfully executed or not. So all these things you can track easily using the Liquibase, right? So there are multiple purpose we have with the Liquibase. Fine. So this is how basically we can deploy the thing. Okay. Now let's come to the other server. So the currently locally we have three tables, right? Three tables, three temp one, temp two, three tables. Now this is the other server, system host name. This is the Liquid 2 server. So here let me create database Shakti and use Shakti show tables. Currently there is nothing, right? System host name -I. So now what I'm going to do is let me deploy the same SQL file on this LIQ2 server as well. Then I am going to have some additional content here. Then I am going to compare. Okay, let's do that. For example, this is the change primary file, right? Now, let's have some more tables here within the 4, and let's have it 3 blocks 1. Okay, maybe have some proper name. Let me have health. Okay, fine. So let me add few more tables. For example, temp1, temp2 is already there. So now I'm going to create additionally few tables. For example, I'm creating temp3 and then I'm creating temp4. This all I am going to create on the Liquid 2 server. Okay, then temp5, temp6, and one more table, temp7. Okay. This all are I am going to execute, deploy on the LIQ2 server so that LIQ2 server have more tables comparing to the LIQ1, right? Then we will make the comparison, okay, using the Liquibase. Fine. Now let me save this file. Yeah. So now I have added one more change set, which is herc4, and I am going to create 5 tables under the herc4. Now, so as I'm going to deploy this file on the Liquid 2 server, I need to update the connection string, right? In the Liquibase properties file, right? So because currently it is pointed to localhost, right? I am just updating to LIQ2 IP, and rest of all the things are same. 3306 Shakti ESSL is not there, and this public key authentication is true. Username password is already same. We created on both the servers, and this change primary SQL I am going to deploy here, right? Currently there is no tables. Let me deploy it now, and just save this file and clear. Let me validate first because we changed the host name, right? Validate. Let's see validation is passed or not. Okay, no validation errors are found. It is passed. Now let me do liquibase update. So what happened? All the SQLs will be executed in the LIQ2 server, right? Let it deployed. So you can see run is 4 change set, because we did run all the change sets before on the local server, LIQ1 server. Currently, we are deploying the entire SQL file, Sakti 1, Sri 2, Sri Vlogs 3, Herc 4. All these 4 change set to here, because nothing change sets were deployed in the LIQ, I mean the other server before, right? So when I'm calling this SQL file, uh, now all the changes are deployed in the uh, remote server. Okay, now let's do the show tables here. You can see all the tables are created, 3 temp 1 temp 2 3 4 5 6 7, and these are the tracker tables, right? We know this, the purpose of the select star from, if you see here, you can see all this change set for fourth change set from the Herc, and third is from Sri Vlogs, second is from Sri user, one is from Shakti. All these are deployed, and we can have all these tables here. Fine. Now, the main part is, let's compare. For example, we have 2 of these servers, MySQL, use Sakti, and show tables. If you see, let's forget about this database, change log, and log table. Anyway, liquibase will also not consider those, because those tables are maintained for the liquibase purpose only. They are not production tables, right? Apart from that, we have 3 tables here in the local server, and we have 7 tables in the remote server, LIQ2 server. Now, let's compare the schema and get the difference to make it sync through the liquibase. We are aware of few other tools, open MySQL diff. We have other tools as well, right? To get the comparison and get the uh, uh, missing schemas, right? Now let's see how we can achieve this with the liquibase. Okay, fine. So we already know in the liquid2 we have 7 tables, and liquid1, which means the local server, we have only 3 tables, right? Now let me compare. Let me come to here. Clear. So currently I have this. So when I want to compare both the schemas, I need to define, right? Currently I have only one connection string is provided, that is for the remote host. Now I need to provide the local host URL as well here, right? Fine. So for that, how we need to define that is, I have the yeah. So here you can see there is one URL which is for local host, and reference URL which is the remote host URL, right? And both I provided the username and password, and here also, here I need to provide a reference username, reference password for the remote server. Okay, and change log file is diff.mysql.sql. So this MySQL is very, very important. Diff.mysql.sql. This MySQL is very, very important, because we need to tell the data source, which data source we are using. We are using MySQL. So we need to tell the MySQL here. If you are using the other databases, you need to provide that here. Okay, got it. Now, where to where I am comparing? That is the next thing. From my scene, I have 7 tables here. I want to make the local server to be sync with the local server. There is only 3 tables, right? Show tables. So here I have only 3 tables, right? Now I want to sync this local server with this remote server, which means I need, at the end, I need to have all these 7 tables in the local server as well. Okay, that is my comparison. I'm going to generate the SQLs to sync the local server LIQ1 with LIQ2. Okay, Fine. Now, so here this URL is the server which needs sync. I mean, which server we are going to compare. Which server, local server, local host I am going to compare. So that is the one I need to provide here. And reference URL means which server I am going to refer. That is the remote server. I'm going to compare my local server with remote server, and I'm going to sync with the remote server. Okay. Local host is going to sync with the remote server. So this URL should be the server which needs fix. Okay. And this reference URL means which is the source of truth. That server you need to provide here. And both we have the here username password and here reference username password. And finally, I need to tell where I need to log the differences. That is diff.mysql.sql. This MySQL is very important. Okay. That is what you need to provide the data source there. Which data source you are using, that you need to provide there. Now let me copy this. And I'm going to create one more property file here. So currently we have liquibase.properties, right? Now I'm going to create diff.properties and I'm going to paste it here. Okay. So now we provided all the details to compare. Now let's run the diff command. So to run the diff command, there is an option which is diff-changelog. You need to use this option to get the difference. And I need to provide the defaults file option because we are having currently two properties file inside the folder, right? For example, see, we have two properties, diff.properties and liquibase.properties. So I need to tell which file need to use, which property file I need to use for this comparison, which is diff. So that I can tell using the defaults file option, diff.properties. Now let me run the command. It's running. Oh man, there is some error. I need to fix this. What is the error? Could not be create to JDBC. With driver communication link failure. The driver has not received any packet from the server. Okay, so what does this means? Let me try a few things. Show variables like bind. Okay, select user comma host from MySQL dot user. Okay, we have the password as well. What is this telling? No root to host. Okay, let me get system hostname -i 38 MySQL -h -u. Let me get the password. Cat diff dots properties. Yeah. -u liquibase -p. This password. Okay, this is also working. What is the thing? Let me check the property file once again. Oh man. Okay, so the reason is uh, I should have this host, right? Due to that, I copied from my Sublime. The host is not, this host is previously I used for my testing. Then I deleted that server and recreated one new server. But here it was there for the old server. Okay, fine. I think it should work now. Clear. And the Cubase default file diff.properties diff changelog. Let it run. No error, please. Okay, no error. Okay, this is successfully completed now. ls LRTH. Now you can see this diff.mysql.sql, which we were mentioned in the properties file, right? You can see this is awesome, right? So here you can see it created the create table statement temp for temp3, temp4, temp5, temp6, temp7, all the tables which are missing on the local server, right? Show tables. Sorry, my L key is not working properly. So here we can see temp1, temp2. But here we have 3, temp1, temp2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These 5 tables are missing. So when we do the schema comparison and produce the difference, you can see it was created for temp3, temp4, temp5, temp6, temp7, right? Now we can sing this like MySQL hyphen no needs. Database name is Shakti and adding 3 verbose and diff dot mysql dot sql. I just executed here. And now if you see show tables here, L key, yeah, show tables here. Now we can see all these tables are here and all these tables are here as well. We did make it sync. So you can compare anything, table, indexes, columns, default values, indexes, everything can be compared using this liquibase tool. It is really, really helpful that I identified for the schema comparison. Maybe you can give the try for yourself as well. And if you want to explore more on this, you want to have some more scenarios to be tested, please let me know in the comment section. We can do that. Okay. So yeah. So yeah, this is the one I wanted to share here. And yeah, I am also exploring the Liquibase. Maybe I will also come up with different interesting videos uh, using Liquibase. Okay. And meanwhile, if you are using Liquibase, please let me know in the comment section. And if you want to explore something or you have some scenarios wanted to be tested with the Liquibase, please let me know. Let's explore together. Okay. Again, I think this is quite long time for making the videos. I think last 3 to 4 months there is no videos published in my channel. But yeah, hopefully I will do that further. Maybe at least weekly one video. I will try to make it. Please comment the interesting topics in the comment section. We'll have them in the channel. Okay. So thank you so much for watching, spending some time with my channel and me. Thank you very much. Bye.